Subcommittee, Congressman Kinzinger of Illinois. We spoke just a short time ago about that and tonight's breaking news. Congressman Kinzinger, the breaking news tonight is that Russian spies are ramping up their efforts to gather intelligence in the U.S. They feel emboldened to do so because the lack of retaliation to the 2016 election interference, lack of retaliation from both the Trump and Obama administrations. What's your reaction to this news?
Well, I mean, presuming this is true and presuming the reason for why is true, first off, I'm not surprised that they're ramping up their intelligence gathering information. The Russians feel as if the Cold War is back on. They're trying to reestablish the Soviet empire through soft power, through election hackings, and through hard power like in Ukraine and Syria. And I do think that the reaction needs to be strong. I think it's time for the House of Representatives to get past this, the Russian sanctions bill that the Senate sent us. There may be some tweaks, that's fine, whatever, but we need to send that strong message, and it needs to be powerful and effective. And I think if we react to that, then that's absolutely essential. But I think this sends one big point, which is that the Russians only react when they meet brick walls. When they don't meet brick walls, when they think they can advance, when they think they can up their spying game without repercussion, they'll do it. That's how they think.
They only react to brick walls. Today, the President of the United States was in Warsaw, the border with Russia, and said nobody knows for sure whether the Russians hacked into the 2016 election. Is that the kind of brick wall you're talking about?
Nope, that's not. That's not. And he did say, you know, yes, it was the Russians, but it was the follow-up statement. I don't understand. It could have been other countries. It could have been other people, unless he knows something that I don't and haven't been briefed on. You know, it's a good start. At least he's that. But the reality is this isn't about, this isn't about delegitimizing President Trump. He won because he won a majority of the electors. He spoke to the heart of people who were in anguish in a lot of areas. But this is about protecting democracy and the institution, not for 2018, not for 2020, but for, frankly, 2100.
Just to be clear, any doubt in your mind that Russia hacked into the 2016 election?
No doubt. I trust our intelligence agencies about this stuff, and they seem pretty convinced.
And again, given that you think there needs to be a brick wall message from the United States, Congress, and the administration, was the statement "nobody knows for sure" appropriate for the president to make, especially in Central Europe?
I don't think so. I think the president has an opportunity to make some really good strides in this. I think he's doing good in some areas. But that comment, that or talking about the intelligence agencies in Iraq is something, A, you don't do. Secondly, you don't do it overseas in front of our allies. Keep in mind, our allies, these are the folks that are feeding us intelligence information when it comes to ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Russia, etc. We're doing the same. There's a good exchange of information. If they believe, and I don't believe this is necessarily true, but if they believe that the President of the United States does not trust his own intelligence agencies, that could lead to real serious problems in the future.
Big meeting tomorrow between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. What message do you think the president should deliver?
I think he needs to deliver that brick wall. I think he needs to talk about the Assad regime and begin to talk about let's force a solution here that ends the violence, that ends ISIS. He needs to talk about Ukraine, and I think he needs to bring up election hacking and election meddling, not just here, but what's going on right now in Europe and what's going to happen in future elections. I don't think that needs to be the centerpiece, but I think it needs to be mentioned, and I think he needs to make it clear to President Putin that we are serious about this. But keep in mind, when you have a meeting, I don't know how long it's going to last, maybe an hour or something, and you have translators, that really gives you about 30 minutes of actual talking time because of the translators. So we need to hit Syria, Ukraine. Let's see if there's areas of common ground in North Korea. But I do think election hacking needs at least mentioned, if not necessarily discussed the whole time.
From what you've seen, does President Trump understand Vladimir Putin?
I don't know. I don't have any indication yet. I think a lot of presidents in the past did not understand Vladimir Putin. I think this is a man that reacts to power. He reacts to strength. Concessions will not help him concede to us. So giving back these properties we seized will not create some kind of goodwill that he's going to get out of Syria or Ukraine. I think meeting that with strength, the shoot down of the Su-22, the bombing of the airfield in Syria, are good messages. Now President Trump needs to back that up with very strong statements and points to him.
Congressman Kinzinger of Illinois, thanks so much for being with us.
You bet, anytime.